Hi, I'm Gary Cohen with Control Engineering. We are here at McCormick Place in Chicago for Automate 24. Been an exciting show so far, but things are about to get more exciting because today I've got Guneet Bedi, Senior Vice President and General Manager of the Americas for Arduino with me. Guneet, thank you so much for being with me today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us, and I look forward to this chat.
Absolutely. So let's start with a general question about the show. First off, you've been at the booth for a few days now. How has the booth been, and what kind of comments are you getting from the people who are coming through?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's been crazy. We haven't had time to breathe, which is really good. I think what's happening is because of the change in the landscape and the talent shortages, a lot of people are coming here to get simple automation solutions. And everybody grew up with Arduino. So you have 36 million followers, and all of them come here and see that they can use this in automation and work. So it's been really good. And the big comments have been really exciting to see new technologies, artificial intelligence and machine learning, but also love to see vendors like us come in and make it simple.
It's hard to go to a show like this and not hear about AI ML at this point.
I know, exactly. The good thing I think is it's one being real with a lot of the use cases that the vendors are showing. Also because the technology in electronics as well as in software has gotten so good, you can actually get the AI to be real at the edge without wasting too many dollars in the cloud. So I think that's why people are excited about it, especially in manufacturing.
That makes sense. Arduino has always been popular with programmers, given the company has kind of a unique position, especially with younger engineers.
Yeah.
How is that effort being leveraged today and being leveraged here at Automate?
Yeah, really good question. So I grew up on Arduino. A lot of us used Arduino in high school, and we realized that how Arduino was being used in industrial applications. So 3 years ago, we launched a new line called Arduino Pro. So if y'all, the viewers want to see, it's arduino.cc/pro. And there you see we have industrially ruggedized components and electronics, microcontrollers, applications, gateways, which are in the right temperature range, compliance and ruggedization. So now all the 36, 37 million people who got used to Arduino in their garages can use them at work.
Makes sense. Your Educator Day highlights your dedication to STEM. What other efforts do you have for that? Again, here at Automate and also just out in the industry at large.
Yeah, I think we're a big believer of democratizing electronics. And I think with democratization, what we do is we offer free courses, free tutorials, free online how-tos, because all the engineers in control space, automation space, as well as in universities who want to come out, they need to know just the basics of how to use it, the nuts and bolts, or in the Midwest, as we call meat and potatoes, right? So we have kits, which are for education, as well as community colleges and technical vocational schools. But we will always keep our software free, and we will always keep our tutorials and courses free.
We are in Chicago. We are in the Midwest, so you can go with a meat and potatoes reference, and we'll go with you.
Yeah, exactly. Sounds good.
With Opta, it's being described so far as a Swiss Army knife, and that there's plenty of programming choices. Can you describe some of the benefits to potential customers of Arduino?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, first of all, we are very compliant with all the big vendors, be it the Rockwells of the world or Siemens of the world. Because if you're going to use safety PLCs, we would recommend you use one of the big brands. But the moment you go into the micro-nano PLC use cases, automation around the machine floor, in the field, with like compressors, pumps, conveyor belts, we're a really good solution because one, we're cost effective. But more importantly, you can use our PLCs in the IEC 6113 languages, which all control engineers are used to, but also C++ with Arduino. So you kind of mix the new and the old world together, and you can make a choice. So it's the ease of use and programmability, as well as the cost effectiveness in the low-end automation use cases, without the concern of going against your vendors. You can still connect our PLC to an Allen Bradley or a Siemens to do that. So that's what's been the big use.
I was here at your booth on Monday, and somebody mentioned that to me as people are coming by and looking at the price and saying, I can do this at $100 versus $1,000?
Yeah, so I think that's what is one of our values of democratization. We want to keep it at a place which is very affordable. Of course, it does not solve all use cases, but it solves significant amount of use cases in automation. And the other thing we've done is we've created a third-party ecosystem of expansions. So we just launched, for example, for the engineers, I/O expansions, digital and analog, but also a cellular expansion, which is very interesting. So you can actually now connect a PLC through a SIM card to the cloud through cellular, and a partner of ours, Blues Wireless, is doing it. And we can also connect with all kinds of HMIs like Wintech of the world, right? So Wintech, SMIs, XOR HMIs, Automation Direct. So we're really creating that ecosystem to make it more affordable.
Got it. So what role is open source programming playing in this evolving world, and what impact is that having from your experience?
I think the bigger thing we're seeing is that open source makes it really accessible to a lot of people to use PLCs without going through expensive training programs for ladder or structural or functional block. You can still do that if you know it, but you can use open source C++, which a lot of engineers grew up with.
Makes sense. We've been hearing, as we talked about earlier, all about large language models, AI, hard to go to a show floor and not hear about it. How have you been leveraging these for Opta, and what do you see as the future of AI ML for your industry?
Very good question. And we can't finish this interview without talking about AI and ML, right? So we kind of have to know, but I think practically we're seeing two uses. The first use is using generative AI to actually program and debug and troubleshoot the Opta and other micro PLCs. One of my favorite, person influencers is Walker Reynolds, and Walker created an entire course on using Copilot to do the coding for Opta without a single line of manual code. So I think that's going to be a really big disruption on how to use electronics and controllers. So it's really cool, like using generative AI to code and debug. The second thing we're seeing is use cases where you don't need that much power of the algorithm to be in the cloud. So we do anomaly detection and a little sensor board, which is with vibration and temperature sensing on the board. So I think now AI is becoming real because it's coming down to the hardware level and a microcontroller level, sub $5 devices. So I think that's the two big disruptions we'll see in the next future.
A lot of protocols in PLC programming seems to be becoming more unified, more standardized.
Yep.
You mentioned that earlier. Do you expect this to continue, and what do you think the evolution will be as far as that's concerned?
I think interoperability is going to be king. We're big supporters, of course, of OPC, OPC UA, all the protocols, and of course, with Ethernet, Modbus, TCP. I can keep naming them, but the idea being,
please keep naming them.
Yeah, people love that. I think the whole idea is the more interoperable you are, the better, and that goes to the foundation of Arduino. Like we started in design school, teaching design students how to do electronics, and we will always be Switzerland. Although we're Italian, of the electronics world.
Yeah. Switzerland and Italy are very close together.
Next to each other.
Yeah. All right. It's a big show, Automate 24. Not everybody is going to be here. Not everybody's going to stop at the Arduino booth. For people who didn't come here, potential customers, what do you want them to know about this show and about what Arduino is doing right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think number one, you don't have to look at the big, expensive electronics and PLCs for certain use cases. So look out for either us or other such micro PLCs. Everybody's starting doing low-end micro PLCs for automation. So wherever you are, look for that. Look for interoperability, like you said, and AI, because it makes your life easy. Why not? So take it seriously. A lot of people miss the 3D printing, thing in manufacturing. And I was talking to a gentleman from Caterpillar. The largest big boy trucks, D11, had 3D printed nuts and bolts in their, chains. So if Caterpillar's biggest truck is using 3D printing, it's real. So, don't miss the micro PLC new wave, just like 3D printing. And the last thing I'll say is that, from our perspective, Arduino is not just for your home now, it's industrial. And we've been doing it for 3 years, 30,000 customers. So look at us seriously.
Fantastic information, Guneet. Thanks so much for being with us. It was great talking to you.
Thank you, Gary. It was good to see you too. Yeah.
For more great information, you can always check us out at controleng.com. Also, if you want more videos from Automate 24 or just more great content, check out our YouTube channel at ControlEng TV. I'm Gary Cohen. Thanks for joining us here at Automate. He's Guneet. We'll talk to you next time.